My fiancée told me she needed to postpone the wedding because she wasn't sure anymore. I said I understood. Then I checked our shared Google photos and found engagement pictures of her and my best man at a vineyard in Martinborough, taken the same afternoon she told me she needed space. Original post. I'm Fraser, 33, from Wellington. Was supposed to get married in 9 weeks. Had the venue sorted at a winery in the Wairarapa, caterer locked in, honeymoon booked for Rarotonga, everything paid. Then on a Tuesday night, my fiancée Kirsty, 30, sat on the edge of our bed, turning her ring around her finger, and said the words, "I think we need to push the wedding back. I'm not feeling right about things." 5 years together. Engaged for 14 months. Not feeling right about things. What do you mean, not right? About us. About getting married so soon. I need time to process. The way she kept looking at the wall behind me instead of my face should have told me everything, but I'm a soft touch. Always have been. Okay, I said. Take whatever time you need. I'd rather you be honest now than regret it later. She actually teared up. You're too good, Fraser. That's what makes this so hard. She moved in with her sister Mia for a bit. To clear her head, she said. I spent that night ringing vendors, trying to hold deposits, begging the vineyard to let us shift the date without losing the $4,200 I'd already paid. The coordinator said she'd give us 6 months to rebook. Small mercy. Wednesday morning, I was working from home, barely functioning. Opened Google Photos to find a receipt I'd scanned. That's when the shared album loaded. See, Kirsty and I had a shared Google Photos account. Automatic backup from both phones. She'd obviously forgotten about that, because right there in the feed were 14 photos from Tuesday afternoon, timestamped 1:47 p.m. while I was at the office. Kirsty and Logan Harding. My best mate since Rongotai College. My best man. At a vineyard. Not our vineyard. A different one, posher, out past Greytown. In the photos, she was wearing a white dress I'd never seen. He was in a blazer. They were holding hands across a tasting table. One photo showed them kissing in front of a row of vines with a woman holding a clipboard beside them. I scrolled further back. The auto backup had been catching things for weeks. Logan's car in our driveway, taken accidentally when Kirsty opened her camera near the window. Selfies of them on our couch, our bedroom. A screenshot of a wedding venue website, Hawthorne Ridge Estate, with the booking page open. The date selected was March 15th. Our wedding date. Our exact date. I sat on the kitchen floor for about 20 minutes, just breathing. Then I called Angus McPhee, a mate from university who practices family law in the city. Hypothetically, I said, if your fiancé was cheating with your best man and they were planning their own wedding on your wedding date, what would you do? Hypothetically, I'd get everything documented before I said a word. Also, is it Logan? How did you know? Mate, he was practically drooling on her at your engagement party. Everyone saw it. You didn't? Apparently, I noticed nothing. Update 1. I spent the next 4 days gathering evidence and keeping my mouth shut. Here's what turned up. Logan had been telling people he'd met someone amazing but was keeping it quiet because of complications. His mom Donna mentioned at a family barbecue last month that he was ring shopping. She seemed chuffed. I created a burner email and inquired about March 15th at Hawthorne Ridge Estate. The reply came within an hour. That date was currently held for the Harding-Baxter celebration, with a $3,800 deposit paid. Harding is Logan's surname. Baxter is Kirsty's. Kirsty's Instagram close friend story, which she thought I couldn't see from my second account, was full of posts. Heart quotes. Sometimes love arrives when you least expect it. The universe knows what it's doing. Her sister Mia had been replying with ring emojis and "so proud of you, babe." Mia knew. Mia had been helping her. The joint credit card. I pulled the statements. $1,900 at a bridal boutique in Petwin, different from where she'd bought her dress for our wedding. $620 at a florist in Lower Hutt. $445 for a photographer's deposit. All of it labeled in her expense notes as wedding admin or dress alterations. She'd been funding her second wedding with the card I gave her for our first one. Monday morning, I told work I had the flu. Texted Kirsty, hope you're having a good day. No pressure, take your time. 20 minutes later, Logan's Uda pulled into our driveway. The Google Photos auto backup caught the timestamp when Kirsty opened her phone camera at 10:14 a.m. They were in my house for 3 hours. I was sitting at a cafe on Courtney Place, watching timestamps update on Google Photos, feeling like I was going to be sick. At 1:30 p.m., new photos appeared. Kirsty trying on a wedding dress in what looked like a boutique fitting room. Logan in the background, grinning. One photo showed him on the phone, and the auto-transcription on his voicemail, which Kirsty had apparently screen-recorded and it synced to, caught him saying, "Yeah, Mom, March 15th. It's locked in." His mom knew. His mom had known the whole time. That night, Kirsty texted me. "Thinking of you heaps. This is really hard for me, Fraser. I hope you know that." I replied, "I know. Take care of yourself." Then I called Angus. Not hypothetical anymore. How much trouble do I get in for showing up at a wedding venue appointment uninvited? Are you planning to hit anyone? No. Just planning to tell the truth. Then I'll clear my Thursday. I checked Logan's Facebook. He posted a photo of champagne with the caption, "Big Thursday energy. Life's about to change." 3 laugh emojis. Thursday. 2 days away. Update 2. Wednesday night, Kirsty came home to pick up clothes. I sat on the couch, acting normal. Hardest performance of my life. "You look wrecked," she said. "Not sleeping great." She hugged me. Put her arms around me and held on. "I hate putting you through this. You deserve so much better. You have no idea how right you are." "What?" "Nothing. Just agreeing." She packed a bag. I watched her put in the lingerie set I'd bought for our honeymoon. The Rarotonga trip she was never going to take with me. The audacity was something else. "Fraser." She stopped at the door. "Whatever happens, I want you to know you're genuinely a good person. And you're something I can't say out loud." She frowned, but left. Thursday. 11 a.m. Hawthorne Ridge Estate, just outside Greytown. I arrived at 10:45 with Angus. We waited in the tasting room. At 11:10, Logan and Kirsty walked in arm. She was wearing my engagement ring on her right hand. My ring. The one I'd saved 8 months to buy. They checked in at reception. Harding-Baxter appointment. We followed them to the function room where the venue coordinator, a woman named Andrea, was already laying out floor plans. "So excited to be planning the Harding-Baxter wedding," Andrea said, beaming. "March is gorgeous here." That's when I stepped through the doorway. Actually, it's supposed to be the Campbell-Baxter wedding. Or it was. Kirsty's face went white. Logan stood up so fast his chair fell backwards. "Fraser, what the hell are you doing here?" "Same thing you're doing, mate. Looking at wedding venues. Except mine was already booked." Andrea looked between us, confused. Angus stepped in, briefcase in hand. "I'm Angus McPhee, solicitor. We have a matter regarding fraudulent use of wedding deposits and potential credit card fraud." "Excuse me?" Andrea's smile disappeared. I put my phone on the table. Showed her my receipt from our vineyard in the Wairarapa, the Campbell-Baxter booking, March 15th, $4,200 in deposits paid by me. Then I showed her the Google Photos. Kirsty and Logan at my house. In my bedroom. Trying on wedding clothes. The synced voicemails. "This is my fiancé. That's my best man. They've been doing this in my house while she told me she needed space to think. Logan tried to speak. Fraser, listen, this isn't, don't. Just don't. Kirsty found her voice. I can explain. No. You can't. Andrea, do your contracts require legal identification? Of course. Kirsty is still legally engaged to me. She's been using a credit card in my name to fund this booking. $620 to your recommended florist, $445 to your photographer. All charged to my account. Angus opened his folder. We have bank statements, photo evidence, and a timeline. Any contract entered under these circumstances would be voidable. Additionally, we're prepared to pursue credit card fraud charges if the money isn't returned. Andrea excused herself to get the manager. Logan grabbed Kirsty's hand. We don't need this place. We'll find somewhere else. Good luck with that, Angus said. Because I've already sent a courtesy notice to every major venue between Wellington and Wairarapa. Fraud alerts travel fast in a small industry. Kirsty started crying. Why are you doing this, Fraser? I'm not doing anything. You did this. All of it. I'm just making sure it's visible. You said you respected my honesty. That was before I knew your honesty meant I'm sleeping with your best mate and stealing our wedding date. The manager arrived. Angus handled it. The Hawthorne Ridge estate cancelled the Harding-Baxter booking on the spot and refunded the deposit to the card on file, which was mine. As we walked out, Logan called after me. This was between us, Fraser. You didn't have to embarrass us. I turned around. Between us? You were in my bed, with my fiancée, while I was working overtime to pay for a wedding. You're not my mate. You're not anything. What's that supposed to mean? It means I rang Chelsea this morning. His face collapsed. Chelsea Norris. His girlfriend of 2 years. The woman he'd been stringing along while planning a wedding to someone else. I sent her everything. Photos, timestamps, the lot. She's at your flat right now packing her things. You had no right, she had every right to know. Just like I did. Update 3. The fallout was immediate. Logan's mom Donna rang me within the hour, screaming. I'd ruined her son's happiness. I was jealous, petty, vindictive. Your son was sleeping with my fiancée in my house while I paid for our wedding, Donna. She loves him. You can't stop that. I'm not stopping anything. I'm just making sure he pays for his own wedding instead of using my money. She threatened to turn the whole family against me. I told her good luck and hung up. My sister Vicky called next. Logan's mom is telling everyone you assaulted him at a venue. With a folder of bank statements, maybe. Serious? Deadly. Come over and I'll show you everything. Vicky came over. Saw the photos. Went quiet for a long time. Then picked up her phone and rang our dad. Pop Douglas Campbell. 71 years old. Retired maybe. Doesn't say much, but when he does, you listen. 20 minutes later, he was at my kitchen table, reading through Angus's folder with his glasses on the end of his nose. He closed the folder. Looked at me. How much did you lose? About $3,600 after recoveries. Plus the ring. Ring? She's still wearing it. On her other hand. Long silence. You want me to ring his mother? Pop, it's fine. I'm not asking if it's fine. I'm asking if you want me to ring his mother. He rang Donna. I could hear him from the kitchen. His voice never rose above speaking level, which was somehow worse than shouting. He told her that her son was a thief who lacked the backbone to find a woman who wasn't already spoken for. He told her that if Logan or Kirsty contacted me again, he would personally ensure every person at the Pet 1 RSA, the bowling club, and the Probus group knew exactly what her boy had done. Then he said, Donna, I served 30 years so people like your son could have the freedom to be decent. He wasted it. And hung up. Vicky and I just stared at him. Right, he said. Who wants a cuppa? Meanwhile, Kirsty's family launched their campaign. Her dad Trevor texted me. We need to talk, man to man. We met at a cafe in Newtown on Friday morning. Fraser, he started. Kirsty's a mess. Good. She made a mistake. She made a series of deliberate choices over several months. That's not a mistake. That's a project. He pulled out his checkbook. Actually pulled out a checkbook, like it was 2005. What's it going to take to make this go away? Mia's getting married next year. The family can't handle the embarrassment. You're worried about embarrassment? Your daughter cheated on me with my best man, used my credit card to pay for their wedding, and wore my engagement ring while doing it. How much, Fraser? I stood up. There isn't enough money in that account. Your daughter made her choice. Tell her to get a refund on the lingerie she took. That was $280 at Bendon, and it was meant for our honeymoon. He looked like I'd slapped him. That evening, Kirsty showed up at my flat with Mia and their mom Gloria. We need to talk, Kirsty said. No. I deserve a chance to explain. You deserve exactly what you got. Nothing. Gloria stepped forward. Fraser, be reasonable. You loved her. I loved who I thought she was. That person apparently doesn't exist. Mia said, you're being cruel. She's heartbroken. She's heartbroken? She was planning a wedding with another man while wearing my ring and sleeping in my bed. It just happened. Logan swept her off her feet. While she was living in my house. Using my credit card. Letting me pay for a wedding she was never going to show up to. Kirsty started sobbing. I didn't mean for it to go this far. How far did you mean for it to go? Were you going to dump me before or after I'd paid for everything? That's not fair. Fair? I pulled up the credit card statement on my phone. $1,900 at Papel Bridal for a dress for your wedding to Logan. $620 at the florist. $445 for a photographer. $280 for lingerie you packed in front of me. All on the card I gave you for our wedding. Silence. Every cent is coming back. From you, from Logan, or from your dad with his checkbook. I don't care which. They left. Gloria muttered something about me being spiteful as she walked out. Spiteful would be emailing these photos to everyone on Mia's wedding guest list next year. This is just maths. Mia went pale. Update 4. Friday afternoon, Logan showed up at my office. Reception rang my desk. 5 minutes, he said. That's all. Against my better judgment, I went down. We stood in the car park because I wasn't giving him the dignity of a coffee. Fraser, I'm sorry. No, you're not. You're sorry you got caught. I love her. You love what belongs to someone else. You always have. Remember Jess? Hamish Barton's girlfriend in 6th form? He went red. Were Sophie Lacey's partner at the Christmas do? They were on a break. For 3 days. You've got a pattern, Logan. You only want what someone else has. Especially when it's someone close to you. Kirsty's different. Yeah. She was my fiancée. That's what makes her different. He leaned forward. Look, we can sort this out. You don't even love her anymore. That's not the point. Then what is? The point is that you smiled at me across the table at my engagement party, gave a speech about loyalty and brotherhood, and then went home and texted her. While I was clearing up the dishes. His phone buzzed. He looked at it and the color drained out of him. Chelsea's posting our messages on Facebook. Yeah. She found some good ones. You telling her you were doing overtime at the workshop while you were actually at my house. Real classy. You gave her my messages? She asked for proof after I told her. I provided it. He stood up. You're destroying my life. No, mate. You destroyed it yourself. I'm just making sure nobody has to guess what happened. He stepped toward me. I stepped back. Touch me and I ring the police. An assault charge won't help your situation. He stared at me, then turned and walked to his Uda. Good luck explaining to your mom why you can't use the ring she offered you. Remember that? Nada Harding's ring? For your special girl? She didn't know the special girl was already wearing mine. Saturday was vendor recovery day. I went to every single one with my folder. The caterer at Riverside Kitchen was understanding. Transferred 70% of my deposit to store credit. Use it within a year. Have a party. You deserve one. The photographer was harder, but agreed to 50% back when Angus sent a polite letter. The florist in Pet One gave me a full refund on the spot. Sweetheart, I saw the Facebook posts. That woman is rubbish. Take your money and buy yourself something nice. The band was tricky, but since Kirsty had co-signed the contract, Angus argued breach. Got 65% back. Total recovered, $5,100 out of the $7,400 I'd spent. Not perfect, but not bad for a week's work. Best part. I rang the bridal boutique in Pet One where Kirsty had bought the second dress. Oh, she was here yesterday trying to return it, the manager said. Let me guess. No returns on custom orders? Exactly. She caused quite a scene. We had to ask her to leave. My sister Vicky actually snorted. That evening, Kirsty texted from Mia's phone. Can we please talk like adults? Adults don't lie, cheat, and commit credit card fraud. So no. I'll fight you on the deposits. Please do. I have bank statements showing every payment came from my account, plus evidence of your affair. Angus charges $380 an hour and he's bored. We'd both love the exercise. You're being petty. I'm being accurate. You wanted Logan. You got him. Enjoy planning a wedding on a budget for once. She sent 23 more messages. I didn't read them. Update 5. Sunday. Pop's birthday lunch. Every year, the whole family goes to his place in Eastbourne. Roast lamb, pavlova, the lot. Mandatory attendance. I walked into dead silence. About 25 family members staring. Pop broke it. Fraser. Sit next to me. I sat. Logan wasn't there, but Donna was. Sitting in the corner with her arms crossed, shooting looks at everyone. Pop waited until the table was full, then stood up with his glass of beer. Before we eat, he said, I want to say something. The room went quiet. I've lived 71 years. I've seen a lot of people do a lot of stupid things. But I have never seen anything as gutless as a man who sleeps with his best mate's fiancée, in his best mate's house, and then tries to steal his wedding date. He looked directly at Donna. And I've never seen a mother defend it. Donna stood up. You have no right, sit down, Donna. I'm not finished. She sat. Fraser handled this with more dignity than most men would. He didn't throw a punch. He didn't make threats. He used a solicitor and told the truth. That's what I raised him to do. He turned to me. You want the ring back? What ring? Your engagement ring. The one she's still wearing. Angus is handling it. Good. A man who steals another man's woman doesn't get to keep the evidence. He sat down. Now let's eat. The lamb's getting cold. Donna left before dessert. Nobody stopped her. My cousin Rawiri leaned over. Everyone knew, bro. At your engagement party, Logan couldn't keep his eyes off her. We all saw it. Why didn't anyone say anything? What do you say? Hey, your best man's in love with your fiancée? Nobody wants to be that guy. Fair point. Painful, but fair. Monday was interesting. I'd taken Thursday and Friday off for the venue confrontation, so my boss Kevin wanted an update. Wedding's off, I said. He pulled me into his office. You all right? Getting there. Take whatever time you need. No questions. Works good for me right now. He nodded. Doors open. At lunch, I got a call from an unknown number. A bloke named Philip from Hawthorne Ridge. Mr. Campbell? I wanted to follow up from Thursday. I also wanted to let you know that your ex-fiancé and Mr. Harding attempted to book 4 venues across the Wairarapa this weekend. And? Let's just say the wedding industry in this region is close-knit. When there's a fraud alert, word gets around. You blacklisted them? We shared relevant information with our industry partners. Standard practice for deposit protection. I don't know what to say. Say you'll think of us if you ever need an event space. Deal. That afternoon, Trevor Baxter turned up at my office. Second time a Baxter had shown up uninvited in a week. This has gone too far, Fraser. Has it? She can't book a venue anywhere in the lower North Island. Sounds like she should have thought about that before committing fraud. She's had to take leave from work. Everyone knows. Everyone should know. You've ruined her life. She ruined her own life. I just made sure she couldn't ruin mine while she was at it. He left. At the door, he turned and said Kirsty was depressed and barely eating. I rang Mia. Your dad just played the mental health card. Is Kirsty actually struggling or is she angry she got caught? Long pause. She's angry. And embarrassed. But she's not in danger. Good. For what it's worth, I didn't want any of this. I know. I told her not to do it. Do what? Get involved with Logan. She said you were too stable. Too predictable. Logan was exciting. And now? Now Logan's broke because Chelsea emptied their joint account on her way out, and Kirsty's sleeping in our parents' spare room in Porirua. Real exciting. Final update. It's been a month since the venue confrontation. Here's where everyone ended up. Logan and Kirsty are still together, supposedly. They're that couple now. The ones everyone talks about at barbecues. Oh, that's the girl who left her fiancé for his best man. Wait, and they tried to steal his wedding date? And used his credit card. They can't find a venue. Can't find a caterer willing to take them on. The wedding industry down here is tiny and connected. Their photographer canceled, citing scheduling issues. Everyone knows what scheduling issues means. Logan lost his job at the panel beating workshop. Not directly because of the cheating, but because he'd been taking 2-hour lunches for months to meet Kirsty at my house. His boss had been documenting it. When the Google Photos timestamps came out, it confirmed everything. 3 hours unaccounted for, twice a week, for 4 months. Kirsty's working from home now because the office gossip got too much. Translation, everyone knows she's the woman who cheated with her fiancé's best man and committed credit card fraud in the process. Donna isn't speaking to Pop. Pop's fine with it. Took out its own rubbish, he said. Chelsea, Logan's ex, and I met for a coffee at Prefab on the waterfront last week. Nothing romantic. Just 2 people comparing notes. He told me he was doing overtime, she said. I was saving for a surprise trip to Queenstown for his birthday. Kirsty told me she needed space to think about our future. They deserve each other. Completely. She still texts me occasionally. Sends screenshots of Logan trying to win her back. Pathetic, but entertaining. The recovered money from the vendors went toward a solo trip. 3 weeks in Southeast Asia. Posted plenty of photos. Kirsty watched every single Instagram story. I know because Instagram tells you who views them. Every single one. My mate Wiry set me up with a woman from his work. We've been on 3 dates. She's kind, she's funny, and she has zero interest in any of my friends or family members. That's refreshing. The engagement ring. Kirsty tried to sell it at a second-hand jewelry shop in Lower Hutt. The owner recognized the ring because he'd originally sourced the stone for me. Rang me first. I collected it, had it appraised, sold it to a proper jeweler in the city, and donated the money to Women's Refuge. Posted the receipt on Facebook. Petty? Absolutely. Satisfying? You have no idea. Last week, I ran into Kirsty at Pack and Save. She looked tired. Older, somehow. Like the last month had been 3 years. Fraser. Kirsty. I'm sorry. I know. Do you forgive me? No. Will you ever? Probably not. Logan's not who I thought he was. Neither were you. She started crying, right there in the produce aisle. I picked up my basket and walked to the checkout. Logan tried one more time last Sunday. Showed up at my flat with a 6-pack of spades and an apology. We were mates for 20 years, phrase. Were. Past tense. Over a woman? Over betrayal. Over trust. Over the fact that you were in my bed with my fiancée while I was working 60-hour weeks to pay for a wedding you were planning to hijack. I'll make it right. You can't. Some things break and they stay broken. So that's it? 20 years gone? You ended it the first time you kissed her. I just said it out loud. He left the beers on the doorstep. I gave them to my neighbor. The thing about being betrayed by the 2 people closest to you is that it rewires you. I check my phone more than I should. I second-guess motives. I assume the worst before hoping for the best. But I also learned something worth knowing. When people show you who they really are, don't argue with them. Believe them. And when they try to convince you that you're overreacting for seeing what's right in front of you, document everything, protect yourself, and don't apologize for having standards. Kirsty wanted excitement. Logan wanted what he couldn't have. They got each other. Honestly, that's punishment enough. Me? I got my money back, my dignity intact, and a solid answer for every barbecue when someone asks why I'm single. Where's Kirsty? Probably somewhere with Logan. Logan, your best man? Not my best man anymore. Not my anything. Worth every cent I lost. P.S. They're expecting a baby. Found out through Wiry's wife last Thursday. Dawn is over the moon about being a grandmother. The baby's due in December. If you count backwards, the timing lines up exactly with when the affair started. Classy stuff, those 2. Real classy. Pop heard the news. Didn't say much. Just looked at me over his cup of tea and said, a man who builds his family on someone else's ruins will never have a solid foundation. Then he went back to his crossword. I still think about that moment on the kitchen floor. Not the anger. The stillness. 14 photos loading on a shared album, and the whole shape of my life just shifting underneath me like sand. Looking back now, what saved me wasn't rage. Rage would have had me driving to Logan's flat at 2 in the morning, doing something I'd regret. What saved me was stopping. Breathing. And then thinking clearly about what needed to happen next. Not what I wanted to do, but what was right, what was smart, and what I could actually live with afterward. Kirsty and Logan made their choices. Every day for months, they chose to lie. They chose to look me in the eye and pretend. That's not a mistake. A mistake is forgetting to pick up milk. What they did was a pattern, deliberate and repeated, and patterns have consequences. That's not cruelty. That's just how life works. You put dishonesty into the world, and eventually it circles back. Kirsty lost her reputation, her venue, her standing with people who mattered. Logan lost his job, his girlfriend, his mates, his inheritance. Nobody did that to them. They built it themselves, one lie at a time. But here's what I've been sitting with lately. It would have been easy to become the worst version of myself through all of this. To slash tires. To scream at family dinners. To make it my mission to destroy them both. Some people would say I'd have been justified. Maybe. But I watched my pop that day, standing in my kitchen, handling the whole thing with a steady voice and a straight back, and I understood something. Doing the right thing isn't about being soft. It's about being strong enough to stay decent when every part of you wants to burn it all down. Pop didn't shout at Donna. He didn't threaten. He told the truth, calmly, and then he made a cup of tea. That's strength. The quiet kind that doesn't need an audience. I also learned that being kind doesn't mean being stupid. I gave Kirsty space because I believed in her. That trust was genuine and I don't regret it. But once I saw the truth, I didn't sit there hoping it would fix itself. I called Angus. I gathered evidence. I protected my finances. I acted. There's a difference between being a good person and being a pushover, and it took this whole mess to teach me where that line sits. Kindness without wisdom is just naivety. And wisdom without the guts to act on it is just daydreaming. Fraser before this would have let it slide. Would have walked away quietly, licked his wounds, and let Kirsty and Logan rewrite the story however they wanted. Fraser now knows that you don't owe silence to people who lied to your face. You don't owe forgiveness to people who haven't earned it. And you don't owe anyone a version of yourself that's smaller than who you really are, just to keep the peace. Pop said something to me last week over a beer in Eastbourne. The measure of a man isn't what happens to him. It's what he does next, and whether he can still look at himself in the mirror the morning after. I can. Every morning. And that's worth more than any wedding.